Sometimes I wonder who is really the general manager of this show. Is it William Regal or is it Teddy Long? I'm just saying. Hello, all NXT fans, and welcome to another NXT review with me, Mike McRock, one half of the MRB Wrestling Review Show. And let's just get right into the thick of last night's episode of WWE NXT for July 29th, 2015. We kick off the show this week with Team Soft, Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy taking on Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson. And going into this match, I was thinking, yeah, this is going to be an enhancement match where Team Soft goes over. Whoa. I was really surprised what NXT done here with this match. They had Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder go over here. It was an okay match, but still. What was the thought process of Team Soft losing to another match? I really don't understand the logic behind that because they are the most charismatic, one of the most charismatic tag teams on NXT right now, and it seems like another loss for them really devalues them. I'm just unsure if they want to split up Team Soft or are they actually going to go somewhere with this losing streak and probably end up getting a big payoff or something. I'm not sure exactly what they're going to do here, but in terms of Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder, I sort of see something with them. Nothing spectacular, but I have a feeling that NXT is going to do some sort of fatal four-way for the tag team titles at the next 2-hour special event. We also had Baron Corbin taking on Jesse Swordson? Wasn't this guy off TNA? But anyway, yeah. Again, another jobber squash match for Baron Corbin. I wanted to see him cut a promo this week on the microphone and talk about something. It could be anything. Just a way for him to go over, maybe tease something that could happen next week between two opponents, which I will talk about here right now. That was Samoa Joe and Rhino. We heard from both of them in two separate video packages, but I would rather see Samoa Joe and Rhino maybe have a confrontation instead, to build up hype to their match next week. Also, we had Jason Jordan and Chad Gable in another tag team enhancement match. I wanted to see a little bit more out of Jason Jordan and Chad Gable as a tag team, just to see what they could do more as a tag team with more tag team in-ring work. But I really like the finisher that these two pull off. It's like Jason Jordan, goes for a backdrop but hands the opponent over to Jason Jordan and he catches him in midair and then slams him and he bridges him for a pin. That I really like. It's a really cool finisher, I think. I just wanted to see a little bit more and something new and something different out of this new tag team. I guess we'll get that in the weeks to come on NXT. And we also had this Bull Dempsey training video, which I was kind of laughing for some reason. I thought it was corny, silly, and goofy in some of the right reasons. You had Bull Dempsey just struggling up the steps and struggling lifting the weights, and the weights were not even on it, and he falls down. I'm like, this is so silly. It's just one of those things where it translates to, it's so good, it's bad, but, it's so bad, it's so good. It's just one of those type of things. And we also had Charlotte going one-on-one with Dana Brooke, and we had Charlotte go over in this match. This was an okay match from the Divas this week. I feel like that ever since NXT TakeOver, their last 2-hour special, there wasn't, a great NXT Women's Championship match besides the NXT Women's Championship match between Sasha Banks and Charlotte a couple of weeks ago. So with that being said, I feel like that, at first I was thinking maybe Charlotte didn't need this win because maybe Dana Brooke needs to gain more wins. I'm kind of okay with Charlotte going over Dana Brooke here because I don't think Dana Brooke is ready just yet to go over someone like a Charlotte who's now starting off on WWE Monday Night Raw. So I was kind of fine with this match ending with Charlotte gaining the pinfall victory over Dana. I wonder if they're going to start to do some sort of split up now, teasing a bit more things between a split between Emma and Dana Brooke. And I think with that, if that's going to be the case, I probably mentioned this before last week, but I think if they're going to split off Dana Brooke and Emma and build that as a feud, maybe Emma should turn babyface and maybe Dana Brooke will probably go over Emma in a match that could happen going down the road. We also had Kevin Owens pretty much squash a jobber, and you kind of already knew what the outcome was with that match. You just knew. And we also had a backstage segment where Kevin Owens apologized to William Regal for hitting him in that contract signing last week. And I really like what they're doing with these two guys. It's almost like they're planting the seeds now of a possible match between the two of them. That I would really like to see. And I really like to see William Regal do the honors and put Kevin Owens over in a really brutal-like match. That is a match I would really like to see in the near future. Maybe after Kevin Owens faces Finn Balor for the NXT Championship at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. We also had the main event on NXT this week, and it was for the NXT Tag Team Championship. It was the Vaudevillians taking on Blake and Murphy, or should I say the Hearts, because they came out and dressed up in that stupid pink crap like the Hearts. Ripping them off, of course. But anyway, going back to this match, I thought this was a relatively decent to good match. It wasn't anything great or anything special, but I think this match done its job and accomplished what it needed to do. And I like that at the end of this match, the Vaudevillians weren't necessarily buried because they got one-upsmanship after Blake and Murphy retained the tag team titles. And I'm glad that Blake and Murphy retained the titles here, because to me, the Vaudevillians really don't need the NXT Tag Team Championships. I think they're a great personality. The 1920s Charlie Chaplin gimmick is really going over with the two of them. So that's a team that I think really doesn't need the championships. And what makes Blake and Murphy stand out is that they have the NXT Tag Team Champions and Alexa Bliss in their corner. So it's a win-win situation here. And it seems like that the feud is continuing when they had Alexa Bliss alone in the ring with the Vaudevillians as they were circling around her, and they hold up the ropes for Alexa Bliss to walk up, but she was like, yeah, no way. And she slaps the both of them, and they kind of don't, get their resolvement in this segment, which I like, which means that the feud is continuing. I think down the road, maybe NXT TakeOver in Brooklyn, that there's going to be a rematch, that's for sure, or they're going to do a Fatal 4-Way, whatever they decide. But I think the best way to go is to have the Vaudevillians take on Blake and Murphy for the tag team titles, maybe at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, and using this match as a plot device. Maybe not the best way to go, but I understand why they want to do this here, because I feel like that maybe they'll probably do some promo segments, hopefully in a couple of weeks before that special event. So I gotta say, this was a good to decent main event for NXT. There was a lot of tag team matches on here. There were a lot of backstage interviews. There were 6 matches on the show this week, which kind of felt like a loaded show. But the entire hour was really easy to sit through, and that's what I like about NXT. It's easy to sit through, and it flows very well. So that's my thoughts, and that's my review for NXT this week. So my question to you, what did you think about NXT? Whatever you thought, comment below and give me your thoughts about NXT for the July 29th, 2015 edition. And you can also hit that subscribe button down below this video as well to become an MRBer on this wrestling review show.